Hi guys. Well, I was going to do a weigh-in with Mr. Chimera here, but you look down here, you will see he's exactly the same as he was last time. He's 559 or 560 grams. So, in a way though, that gives us an opportunity to talk about a couple things. First off, okay, Merlin, listen. Merlin, oh my gosh. Chimera, it was Merlin's birthday over the weekend and he turned 2. So he's still in my mind. But anyway, let's talk about what happens when your dragons kind of, sort of, what would you say, sort of end up kind of, you know, reaching a plateau and they're not really gaining any more weight and they're not really, or they don't appear to be, putting on any more weight. But they're not losing weight. If they're losing weight, you need to be concerned, okay? You do not need to be really concerned on a plateau once in a while if they're adults, okay? So we'll talk about, okay, Chimera, if you could just sit up here a minute, bud. Let me give them to you. I know you want to dig in by yourself, but I don't want you doing that. If, for example, your dragon got up from brumation, all right, and you weigh them, and they either weigh exactly the same thing or maybe they've only lost, 5 or 10 grams. That's okay, because when they're brumating, they're not eating or drinking, okay? If your dragon has been ill and they weren't interested really in eating because, not like Chimera who's always interested in eating, and they might have lost a few grams because they weren't feeling well. Now you've given them some medication or you've taken them to the vet, and so now they're doing better and they're starting to eat again, but their weight's a little bit low. Okay, that's okay. Those are explainable reasons why your dragon might be not putting on a lot of weight or might be in a plateau. Also, if your dragon's full grown and they're on a normal dragon diet, Chimera, you're not even paying it. Look, hello, hi, I have a worm right, hello. And they're the weight they should be and you're happy with it, your vet's happy with it, everybody's happy with it, then what your goal is going to be is you want to maintain that weight. You don't want them to lose any, but you don't really want them to gain any either. Now everybody's weight goes a little bit, 5 or 10 grams either direction. He's on your hand, buddy. Can you get him? Good boy. It's okay. We all have things that will cause that. Maybe they don't like the greens you're giving them this week, so they're not eating as much. They're on what I call starvation rations, which is, I'm only going to eat enough to keep myself alive because these are not my favorite, Like most dragons, for instance, will eat collard greens and love them. Okay, but maybe this week you're feeding turnip greens and, you got some dragons that really aren't that excited about turnip greens. That's okay. So they might not eat very much. But as long as they're eating something and they're eating what they should be and it's their normal diet and they aren't eating, maybe great quantities like they normally would, it's okay if they lose a couple of grams here and there. They'll gain it back when they get back onto something they enjoy. Now, when do you want to worry? Well, you want to worry if your dragon has some weight loss that's accompanied with other things like lethargy. They just don't want to get up and move around very much. They've got any kind of nasal discharge coming out, or you can hear them breathing or you can hear them coughing and they're losing weight. or they're eating like a horse, and every week you weigh them for a couple of weeks and they are obviously losing weight. That might mean they have a parasite. It might mean they have an upper respiratory infection that you're not privy to yet because it hasn't settled in really seriously. Because, you know, bearded dragons are both predator and prey animals. So they're going to try to not show you when they really don't feel very good until they can't help it. So by then, it's really bad. So that's why it's important to know what's normal for your dragon. If it's normal for your dragon, you know, that they like to sit in their basking spot all morning and then run around for an hour and then sit around in their hide or sit around on their log and just sort of, you know, let life go by. Great. But all of a sudden now they've lost 20 grams and they're trying to sit under their basking light all the time and they're not really ever not lethargic. Or you can hear them rattling or clicking when they breathe. They'll make a clicking in their throat. That's them trying to breathe when they're having trouble. Or discharge from mouth, eyes, or vent. All of those are reasons that you need to be really concerned. So that means something's definitely wrong. But if they plateau and you know that they're eating fine, they're acting fine, everything is clear, nose is clear, eyes are clear, then nothing is coming out of their vent, everything's good, then it's okay if they haven't gained any. If they gain, you know, weight forever, they would be enormous by the by the end of the road. Isn't that right, Chimera? So what that tells me is, and you'll notice too, if you look at his head. Come here, buddy. These little fat pads that have been you had such a depression when we first got him, are filled out. See, check him out. They're even. So I suspect that he'll get, you know, they'll get maybe a little bit convex, so they'll be a little bit over his head in a little while, probably in the next 25 to 50 grams. But the reality is, his body is saying, hey, this is about as big as I'm interested in being. So he's active, he's happy, he runs around, he basks, he plays, he has what I would call more than average energy for a dragon, which is saying something for those of you that have been following his recovery. He was pretty unhappy and pretty messed up when he got here. So that's all good news, okay? So if that means that his body doesn't want to be more than 560 grams for a while, that's okay. I suspect that he'll probably put on quite a bit for the rest of the summer and fall, and then he'll probably slow down to get ready for brumation if he's going to. Now, we'll see if he's well enough. You know, dragons that don't feel well usually won't brumate because, you know, they don't want to take a chance that they're going to go to sleep and not wake up, you know. So if he does brumate, then that will mean that he's feeling good and he's feeling well enough to do that. And I don't know what his brumation pattern is because this will be the first year he was with us during the winter. So we'll see how it goes. But as you can see, he's a good boy. He's eating quite well. And he's still 560 grams, you guys, which is, you know, within the normal limits for an adult dragon. 400 to 800 is considered normal, depending on other factors of your dragon. So he's still doing fine. He's leveling off and doing great and eating literally everything in sight. So, yeah, he's doing awesome, huh, Chimera? I know you are. I know. You probably want some roaches to go with your worms. You can have some roaches too. You're a good boy. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Try to do something kind for one another, would ya? We got enough to deal with in this world without people unkind. So do some random act of kindness. It can really lift your spirits. All right, everybody. Have a great day. We'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.